Okay, so last time previous sessions we had talked about your 3-month goal, and we kind of set that that wellness vision too, that you were really just trying to eat healthier, get more fruit and vegetables in, and get that good nutritional balance consistently. And that was kind of your 3-month goal, was to really work on the components of your diet. Do you still feel that that's relevant? How do you think that that 3-month goal is working in with your vision still?
Yeah, it's still relevant. It's kind of hard because I spent the last three months at the academy, which is the food isn't bad, but it's institutionalized food.
Sure.
There's a salad bar, but what do they have with that? Buckets of dressing. And there was kind of an imbalance of there was always a salad bar, but there was rarely ever fruit. So I think people, not just me, but everyone was kind of more inclined to actually have like cookies and stuff that were available for desserts. Whereas if there was fruit available, I probably would have gravitated more towards that.
Sure.
So I did what I could when I had, but obviously I couldn't keep fresh fruits and vegetables in our dorm rooms. So.
Okay, so how do you think that that'll change now that you're back home?
Now that I control my menu 100%, I think it'll be easier for me to get that because
Okay.
I don't have someone deciding for me what my options are. I just go out and do it myself.
Sure. Okay, so do you think that that 3-month goal is still relevant? I mean, do you feel like it's needs to be changed at all to make sure we're hitting your vision, or do you think it's going to be okay now?
I think it's still like a totally practical goal.
Good. Okay. Tell me about, so we're talking about this 3-month goal, this kind of broader one we were trying to hit. What is so far the best learning experience you've had, or the biggest growth or aha moment that you've experienced?
Kind of going back to what I said before, where you don't realize kind of how hard it is to create whole dishes with like I said, I can do chicken and broccoli, whatever. But I can only have that so many times before I want to change. But then it's what else goes good with broccoli? Well, fish. Well, that's still kind of in the same vein. It's hard at first to figure out ways to change kind of the flavors and I guess the cuisine style.
Sure.
Like I said, I like vegetables, but if you eat the same thing over and over,
Yep.
you kind of lose it.
Absolutely. What would you say is kind of your level of commitment with these goals?
60%.
Okay.
Not necessarily that I'm not committed, just that I haven't fully, because I guess I call 100% to the point where I'm doing everything that I want to do, but that's still going to take time.
Okay. Well, I definitely think you've got it in you to hit these goals, and you're doing a great job so far. So now let's kind of shift gears. Let's kind of work together. Let's talk about something that is really of interest to you that we can work on for the rest of the session. I've heard you talk a lot about kind of trying to figure out new and exciting ways to work in the vegetables. Is that maybe something you'd want to talk about, or
Sure.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, in this moment, what is something you really want in relation to your goal?
Can you clarify that? Maybe what do you mean in relation to it?
Anything. So, I mean, where would you like to be right this second, or is there something right this second that maybe is jumping out to you that is just pertinent?
It'd be nice to have, well, like I said before, more ideas of how to introduce fruits and vegetables into a diet without making it like, here's my shake of fruits and vegetables. I'd like to create it or fuse it in a way that someone else could eat it without noticing necessarily that they're eating a diet high in fruit and vegetable.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
What are some strengths you think that you have that would work towards this?
And I'm pretty good at thinking outside the box. I'm not really afraid to try anything.
Yeah.
So I might try something. It might be awful, but I'll try it.
Sure. So you kind of like to experiment and you like to have fun in that regard?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm hearing you say that kind of variety is something that you're valuing here. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What do you need as far as an environment in order to hit this goal? Do you feel comfortable in your current living situation, your current cooking situation? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need Bobby Flay's kitchen. I can probably make it work with a wok, some coconut oil, if it's healthy, and a stovetop burner. I mean, I don't need anything special. A cookbook might help, but
Sure.
aside from that, I don't need any special facilities.
Okay. Is there anything that you're worried about as far as this goal goes that we could work on?
As far as like the actual like fusion of the recipes, I'm kind of worried about screwing stuff up, not because it's gonna taste bad, but because that kind of adds up in cost,
Okay.
and then at that point it might be kind of discouraging if I'm spending more money on fresh food that I'm throwing away because I screwed it up than
Right.
I would be if I was going to Burger King, McDonald's.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say that maybe money and saving money and at least preserving money is something you value.
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me more about that?
You know, part of the goal behind dropping or improving the kinds of food that I eat is to also cut out fast food, because, and not necessarily because it's bad for you, because I've never really had a problem with gaining or losing weight. I pretty much stayed the same, but for the matter that it's really expensive.
Okay.
And if I added up all the money I spend on takeout food in a year, I'd probably feel sick.
Sure.
So to kind of take that risk of, well, I'm going to go spend as much or more on food that I might have to throw away because I screwed up cooking it because it's something new, it's kind of a risk reward.
Okay, so I'm hearing you say that maybe you do eat out a lot. Does that sound
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, but historically, yeah,
Okay. Why do you think that is? Can you tell me more about that?
because I'm 22 years old and it's not hard to justify going up to get a burger.
Okay.
I haven't necessarily suffered a visible penalty for it yet. So.
Sure. And I heard you talk earlier kind of about the preparation time was something that was an issue. Is that something that you're concerned about now as well?
It's not as big of a deal. I mean, like I said, it's one of those things, like, when I get home after work, I could spend an hour cooking, or I could go and pick up food at DP Dough.
Sure. You like DP Dough, it sounds like. All right. Well, on one hand, it sounds like maybe, this is maybe going to be a tough challenge for you. There's the initial investment of cost that might come out, and it might persist for a little bit while you're perfecting those recipes that you're coming up with. And it's going to take a little bit of time. But on the other hand, you're going to save money you'd like to in the long run by doing this, and you just feel healthier about it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I think we will do the brainstorming activity kind of like we did before. So let's come up with 6 ideas. And again, they can be something you've already tried, maybe that I didn't know you've tried. Could be something that's kind of crazy or weird. You're really not into it. Let's just write them down, get them on paper, and then we'll talk them out in a little bit. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to start first, or would you like me to?
You can start first.
Okay. So I'm going to say your goal for next week is to research 4 new recipes for broccoli. Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, sounded like it. Okay, your turn. Run 10 miles a week?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting some physical activity in.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna say to read the grocery store ads to see what produce is on sale, so that we're working on that cost. you have any other ideas?
How about something like, could I like calculate how much money I'm saving by not eating fast food?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I have a pen?
Sorry.
Thanks. I'm gonna say kind of like survey your kitchen utensils to see if there's anything that you would need to get, because you talked about like cooking on a wok before, like making sure you have that kind of thing. All right, can you think of one last one?
Well, I guess one of the things that is kind of the downside of the higher water intake is it's kind of boring. Like so maybe like look up, like ways to infuse water.
Okay, good.
They seem kind of silly, but
Not at all. Okay, I think this is a good list. I think you'll do a good job moving forward with this. So looking at this list, what do you think is the number one goal that would be important to you? Could be any of them.
well, I'm kind of admittedly money motivated, so I think like figuring out how much money I actually spend on eating out.
Okay.
Because there's a hard data there that I can see,
Sure.
and I think that'll be more effective on me.
Sounds like you like seeing kind of some hard evidence.
Yeah.
Is that a cop thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of narrow that goal down. We're going to calculate how much money you generally spend in a week, right? In a week?
We could probably go up to even a month.
Okay. So maybe we'd start by going and kind of figuring out an average of how many a day or how many a week that you eat out, and then an average price type of thing.
Sure.
Okay. Do you feel like that's something that you could get done over the course of the next
I
week?
can probably do it in 15 minutes on my computer.
Okay. So if we had a ruler here, 0 was that you're not confident that this goal is going to happen. 10 is that you guarantee it's going to get done. Where would you say?
9.
Okay. And why 9? Why not like 6 or 7?
It's because it's one of those things where like it's kind of busy work, but I'm also someone that wants to get started on something where I have a task and I have to get to the end of something. I can just sit down and do it.
Okay.
So I'm confident myself, I guess.
Okay. What could we do to get that up to a 10?
I don't know. Do it for me.
Besides that,
I don't know.
are there any resources or anything you think that we could talk about bringing in?
No, I have all I need. It's just a matter of I don't like rating things in absolutes, just because
Okay.
in case something doesn't
Sure.
work out.
That unknown variable
Yeah.
sounds like is what's standing in the way.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel, like your people around you? Do you have a good support system to help reach this goal? Tell me about that.
Yeah, my girlfriend.
Okay.
Good at it, so
That's good. So your girlfriend's somebody who's going to help you reach this goal, you think? She's going to be there and maybe help you do the calculations?
yeah,
Make a spreadsheet or something?
yeah, she's good at those things.
Okay. So in your own words, can you restate that goal and your commitment, that goal you just chose?
Calculate how much money I'm saving by not eating prepared food.
Okay. Over what time period?
Probably a month to start, but I may end up becoming ingrained into where I'm doing it for a whole year.
Okay. All right. I definitely think that you have the skills necessary to complete that goal. I think you'll do well with it. Can we pick a secondary goal from this list? What do you think, if we take out that one, what's the next most important?
Probably the read the grocery store ads.
Okay. So we want to have you check out the grocery store ads before you go shopping to see what produce is on sale. Okay. How often do you go grocery shopping?
Once a month.
Once a month. Okay. Will you be grocery shopping by the time I see you next?
I can be.
Okay. But you think maybe just one time?
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that we could get that in. So before you go to the store, we're going to say, pull up the ad, either newspaper or computer or something like that, and kind of make a list, should we say?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's pull out that confidence ruler again. So 0 is you're not really sure you're going to be able to do that. 10 is like definitely so confident this is going to happen. Where do you think you are?
7.
7? Okay. Why 7? Why not like 4 or 5?
Because that takes more time and effort, and I'm not, like I said before, it's one of those things where I'm kind of swamped as it is, and I have time, but a lot of that time is after I've worked all day, and
Sure.
When that happens, I don't really want to do anything.
Okay. Sounds like time's an issue.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get home, it sounds like planning's not on the radar.
Yeah.
Okay. What could we talk about maybe doing to get that confidence up to maybe more like an 8 or 9?
My girlfriend helped me.
If your girlfriend helped you?
She's more of a planner of that kind of stuff.
Okay. So again, it sounds like your girlfriend's kind of that good support system with this. Okay, that's good. So with this goal, would you be able to kind of restate it in your own words and reaffirm that commitment to it?
Use local ads to find good prices on fresh produce. I think, like I said, I think as long as I have someone maybe who's more driven with this kind of thing, or who knows more about it than I do to help, we'd probably be fine to reach that goal.
Okay, good. And I think you'll do a really good job with that too.
Thank you.
Well, I really appreciate your work in this session. Is there anything else you want to talk about while we're here?
No, nothing I can think of.
Okay. So just kind of going back over what we talked about, we kind of reviewed those 2-month goals, 1-week goals, those 2 1-week goals, and kind of saw where you were at. You did pretty good. You said that you're at a 75% for both of those. Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Okay. We went over that 3-month goal, and tell me again how you thought that went.
I think I rated it 60%.
Okay. But you still felt that it was valid and it was still relevant to where you want to go. You're just not there yet, which is totally fine because we just made that one. So you're doing a good job. Then we kind of talked about that the most important thing for you right now is maybe the variety with the fruits and vegetables and kind of working those in a fun way.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we set the 2 new goals for next week.
Yep.
Okay. Can you tell me something that maybe you learned in this session?
As in just us talking. That I don't know. It's probably not as hard as I'm making it out to be.
Okay. So you think that you feel more confident
Yeah.
after this session?
Yeah.
You think that you could probably go home and get it done?
Yeah.
Good. That's good to hear. How can I work in future coaching sessions to kind of support you? Is there anything I can, bring to the table, literally, something I can do to prepare in the out time?
I'm personally a visual learner.
Okay.
So seeing comparisons of when you see cups of sugar, this is how many this has, that stuff works for me.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think that your actual teaching is good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So maybe if I brought in some brochures or something
Yeah.
next time, or shared an article with you. Okay. I'll definitely get that in by next week, unless you want me to send it in an email or something before.
Whatever you want to use, man.
You let me know.
How about you have it set up for next week?
Perfect. So we'll get that set up for next week. I'll see if I can get some nutrition comparisons and stuff for you. Okay. So next week, would this same time work for you again, or how's your schedule next week?
Yeah, 11 p.m. on Thursday is usually good.
Okay. Sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Well, thanks for meeting with me again today. It was really great to see you.
You too.
And we'll see you at 11 p.m. next Thursday.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Welcome.